So, it's kind of ironic that the other day I was talking to you about how I didn't really know that many other Vin Diesel movies, and you were like, oh, well, we've got Fast and Furious, obviously. We got Riddick and a few other ones. And so today we got to see a new one.
Yeah.
Wow. That was something.
It was. Yeah. This isn't going to be one that people are going to talk about when they say, oh, Vin Diesel, the guy that's...
The guy from The Last Witch Hunter?
The guy from The Last Witch Hunter? Remember that turd? Yeah. This movie was so bad.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. This movie is crazy. It tries to combine so many genres at once and fails to satisfy any of them, and it's just so boring and stupid. First of all, do I even need to comment on how ludicrous Vin Diesel looks in the medieval times era? If you've seen the trailer, you know exactly what I mean. He looks like Enzo Amore. He does
not belong there.
He has this huge goatee and
it's just a beard.
Oh, but isn't part of it braided?
It's not a goatee.
And he's got like a mohawk going.
He's just supposed to look Scandinavian. You see, the funny part is he's supposed to look medieval, but you can still tell it's Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
oh man, it looks so laughable. I wish I could talk about the action scenes. Unfortunately, I could not follow the action scenes to save my life. Shaky cam galore. This made A Good Day to Die Hard look like The Raid Redemption. This was so badly shot. Here's the crazy thing too. For a dumb fun action film, there's not that many action scenes.
Mm-mm.
This was a boring movie.
I have never ever fallen asleep in a movie theater. Yeah. I almost fell asleep.
I was yawning.
I seriously was like, oh.
I was constantly yawning. This movie was so boring.
There was a lot of parts to this movie where I was like, this is like the same exact thing that we've already seen in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is so
A quarter of the film is Vin Diesel going up to windows and going... Another quarter of the film is him having... flashbacks with him with the awesome beard and mohawk. And another quarter of the film is... Actually, no, not a quarter. 90% of the movie is the worst CGI you will ever see. I know we have complained time and time again about movies with bad CGI. Holy crap! This is 1999 CGI. Wow! And you know something? Just for a movie that has... I didn't know what was going on. This plot made no sense.
Here's the thing when you make a fantasy movie, okay? If you make a fantasy movie that is original, you've wrote an original script for a fantasy movie, that's fine. But you have to explain your lore to people as they're watching it. You can't just say, oh, well...
Just go with it.
They're a dream walker and they do this, and we're sitting there like, okay, well, what is that?
Yeah.
We don't know your lore. We weren't in the writing room, dude. You gotta explain it. Yeah. And they don't, and you just get lost, and it frustrates you.
And the fantasy aspects is such BS, and it's uninteresting, and it's dull. And here's the thing I want to say about that, too. I completely agree with what you said, and the only way you can get away with not explaining things is if it's interesting, if that makes sense. Okay, take something like the original Total Recall. Not everything makes sense. Most of the fantasy in that sci-fi universe, though, you can pick up pretty quickly because it's a future. So but it's not like a super distant future. It's just like the future. So a lot of the futuristic mumbo jumbo in that movie you can still follow,
and that's also because in that universe, it's not too far-fetched from what we have now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's able to relate to.
Yeah.
You can't relate to this movie.
Exactly. And here's the thing, too. Even if they don't explain something, if there's some kind of gadget or something, it's not annoying that, you can't follow it because there's still enough that movie and other movies that do stuff like that
I mean,
can still, in its own way, explain what it is.
In that movie, it's practical,
Yes.
But in this movie, it's magic, So
Yes.
it's like, we can't relate to magic, so you've got to explain it.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that in our life.
In Ghostbusters, when they go to the library and they pull out this gizmo to track the ghost. We don't know what it is. They don't say this. We don't need to know. Because, like you said, it's practical and like, okay, they're searching for a ghost. That's clearly a device to help them track the ghost. In this movie, they just throw a bunch of nonsense at you and, well, just go with it. Just go with it.
Oh,
and here's the thing.
boy.
Total Recall has likable characters. Ghostbusters has likable characters. Is there a single likable character in this whole film? I guess Michael Caine.
Michael Caine's corpse is pretty funny.
Yeah. When the moment I heard his voice, I was so sad. I like how his opening scene is him narrating for about 2 minutes, and then he never narrates for the rest of the film. It was so weird. It was like basically him introducing this bullcrap fantasy world.
75% of his scenes in this movie is him just lying on a thing dead.
With makeup on.
So I love how he's like,
Or maybe it's him
you know
without
what?
makeup.
I guess I'll do your movie, but I'll have like 3 scenes, and then for the rest of it, I just want to lie on a couch. Give me my paycheck, please. Get me out of here.
It's really easy to make fun of Vin Diesel, but honestly, jokes aside, I do like Vin Diesel. I've seen him before. Here's a good movie. The giant movie. Where he's the alien. The animated film. You just showed it to me earlier this year.
Oh, Iron Giant.
Iron Giant. Yeah, there's a good Vin Diesel movie. Iron Giant. Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I know that's all minor, but
So you just named 2 roles where basically the whole time he's just going.
okay. For those of you aside, okay, I do like some of the Fast and Furious movies, and he's good in the small role he has in Private Ryan. Point being, I like Vin Diesel. Joking aside, so I don't mean to bash the guy.
His
But
acting was so bad in this.
His line reading was so horrible. You could have sworn he was auditioning for a middle school play.
Oh, God.
This was so bad. And to be fair, he made the film a little more fun from considering how dreadfully and painfully boring this snooze fest of a screenplay was. But wow, was he not... He was not at his A game here.
Well, speaking of actors not at their A game, Elijah Wood is in this movie.
Why is Elijah Wood in this movie?
Why is he in this?
He served...
I don't know.
Nope. When the moment I saw him, I said, please be the lead villain. And be insanely over the top. Well, spoiler alert, he does turn out at the very end to be a villain, not the lead villain, but a villain.
He only has like 10 minutes of screen time, maybe.
Throughout the whole film.
Yes, and his acting is like on coast.
Yes.
Like he has no inflection or anything. He just comes in, reads his lines, and then goes.
I think they got Elijah Wood because he's small, he's skinny, he's soft-spoken.
And he's a famous name.
And they thought, well, if we pair him up with Vin Diesel, it's going to make Vin Diesel look super strong and tough in comparison. That's why he's there. I guarantee that's why he's there. And to get back to him with the swerve, with him being a villain, he gets to be a villain for about 30 seconds, so they don't even let it play out into being something fun. It was a twist for the sake of being a twist. And a very predictable...
And a twist that you could see a mile away.
Yes. The moment he starts to talk about how his parents were killed by witches, I knew that was going to come back. I knew it was going to come back, and it did. We're not getting into the plot here, because there's no point. But I want to just say also that... I'll bring this up. Kurt Angle apparently is in this movie. He has a cameo. He had the great credit of being bodyguard number 4. So...
Not even bodyguard number 1.
Yeah, they could not even make an Olympic gold medalist bodyguard number 1. No, Kurt, you get to be number 4. It's a step above number 5. All right. Okay. I doubt he cares. He was in Sharknado 2. But what else do I want to talk about? I got just about everything. Oh, okay. I just want to say this too. I feel like this was a moment that was put into the film. There was no need for this to be in the film, but I felt like this was completely done just to boost Vin Diesel's ego. And that is, in the beginning of the film, we see him doing his thing. He's a witch hunter, and he's on a plane. And he randomly gets approached by a stewardess on the plane. And she's cute. And he in a very creepy way, starts flirting with her. And then it cuts to her walking out of his condo, apartment, whatever it is, insinuating that she spent the night with him. Vin Diesel's character, this entire movie, he's not James Bond. He's not this, like, womanizer. He has a female sidekick the whole time, and even though they've kind of they have a bonding, they don't have a romance.
I was afraid that they were going to try to do that.
They don't do a romance. They don't do a romance.
They don't.
He doesn't kiss her, thank God. Because she's like 20, 30 years younger than him. But, what, 20 years probably. But, point being, why was that there? He gets to hook up with this random stewardess. Why was that in there?
Because you're supposed to be like, yeah,
this guy's got it made. It wouldn't surprise me. Either that was the screenwriter being like, oh, we gotta make him tough, or that was Vin Diesel just being like, oh, well, if I'm not gonna have a romance with the chick, then I want to sleep with somebody in the movie. He is the Stallone. He might be the Sylvester Stallone of this generation. To paint the picture for you real quick, this movie feels like a poor man's Constantine. This feels like something that would have come out around the same time Constantine, Hellboy, and Underworld would have come out.
A movie that wants to be based off, like, Christian dogma, you know?
Kind of, not gothic, but dark, but still, like, lighthearted. I mean, Constantine's not hard, but like Hellboy, kind of lighthearted enough for the masses.
Well, Hellboy's a comic book movie.
Yeah, sure.
Still, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much all I got. Oh, so the CGI in this movie, as we said earlier, was terrible. They just couldn't help themselves. They had to give this climax the most horrendous, poorly shot CGI climax of all time. I'm not going to explain what it was, not because I don't want to, because I can't. I don't know what happened.
No.
I legitimately do not know how this movie ends. And I was watching it with my eyes. And I have good vision.
I don't know what he did, or how he did it, or why, or...
The lighting, the editing, the storytelling...
The shaky cam.
I
also loved how... So, not to give too much away, but basically in this... where they're having this climax, there's this giant... monster thing made out of wood, basically, that protects this area, and he's doing something that makes this monster mad, so it's trying to kill him. And this thing is like this giant, like, crazy monster thing, and it's like running towards him, and Vin Diesel's running shooting at it, and he literally jumps through it and destroys it.
Speaking of Sharknado, this was straight out of Sharknado when the shark, at the climax of Sharknado, when the shark is falling out of the sky, and the lead character grabs the chainsaw and then, like, jumps into his mouth and comes out of the tail through the chainsaw. It's straight up like that.
I mean,
like,
he's just trying to tell us that his head is a rock.
He is a rock. I'm tough. Oh, and speaking of one more CGI thing, the last shot of the film is a shot of the city. I mean, Vin Diesel and the girl get into a car to drive off, and we get a shot of the city. They just couldn't help themselves. They had to get a very poorly CGI'd shot of their car
burning
very poorly, swerving into, like, the other lane and driving away. It was like they just couldn't help themselves. They had to get that last bit of terrible CGI. Would you recommend this movie?
No.
Would you recommend it as a so bad it's good movie?
No.
I wouldn't either.
It was boring.
No, I would recommend Agent 47 as a so bad it's hilarious movie.
Even that's pushing it.
I would almost recommend The New Transporter as a so bad it's funny movie. But this this is really boring. Like, yeah, guys, don't see this. Don't. Just don't.